What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report. Welcome back to a brand new video where we talk all things Heat basketball. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the one free agent acquisition that the Miami Heat acquired today, as well as most importantly talking about the first Summer League game that the Miami Heat took part in, the California Classic versus the Los Angeles Lakers. I'll be giving my thoughts as always, so make sure y'all tune in, enjoy the video, drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on post notifications, and most importantly, give me your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, make sure to follow my Twitter if you guys have Twitter. I literally, talk about the Heat 24/7 on there. So if you guys have any thoughts or if you guys are interested, it'll be the pinned comment. It'll also be in the description. You guys cannot miss it. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And yeah, let's get right into it, man. So obviously the free agency day one was a wild frenzy for the Heat. We signed a couple of players, got our bunch of players back, like Dwayne Dedmon, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent. Extending Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker. We took care of a lot of business in day one. Day two was a little bit more quiet. Obviously, it was mostly dominated by the Lakers and the Nets just trying to sign everyone. The Nets, I loved what they did with Patty Mills and James Johnson. The Lakers just looked like they were trying to sign the whole league. They even took Kendrick Nunn away from us, which is fine. I've seen a lot of Heat fans saying Kendrick Nunn is like losing Kendrick Nunn was a big mistake or something. Like, we never had the money for Kendrick Nunn anyway. And I know he took $5 million or so or $10 million or so from the Lakers, but we couldn't have given him that money because even if we could have, he wasn't going to accept it because he wants to win a championship, and the Lakers are a better team right now than us. And also, I just don't think it was going to work out. I just don't think, the Heat and Nunn, I think it was written in the stars. It was, from set in stone since the Kyle Lowry rumors started surfacing and became even stronger that we would have to pick between Nunn and Robinson. And of course, we sided with the shooting of Duncan Robinson. But all the best to Kendrick Nunn. People, I've seen a lot of fans, mad that he went to the Lakers. He made a decision for himself. Whatever happens. Wish him all the best in the future. But yeah, Kendrick Nunn was the first guy from the Heat to be involved in today's free agency, and he went to the Lakers. And then the Heat actually picked up a guy from the Lakers in Markieff Morris. Now, this is very, very interesting. Markieff Morris was actually a guy that I talked about, and when I did the cheap free agents video, I'm pretty sure Markieff Morris was on. He was one of the players that I was talking about for the Heat to consider signing on a cheap deal, and that's what exactly they did. That they got him on a 1-year minimum. I like it. For a vet minimum, Markieff Morris is a guy he's a dog, and that's what we need on our team. That's what we're trying to build. We have a lot of like-minded players, and it's very, very rare that we've had that all in one team. Like, I know in 2020 that was probably our closest to it, but since like Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway, we've never had a team with this many feisty dogs. Like Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, Markieff Morris, Bam, Udonis Haslem potentially coming back. Like, this team is filled with goons. They're filled with guys that are tough, gritty, physical, hard-nosed, and that's what Pat Riley's trying to build. This is a typical Pat Riley team. It's a very typical Pat Riley team, man. I'm not even surprised that Markieff Morris is one of the free agent signings we brought in, because not only did I mention him in the video that I made a couple of weeks ago, but yesterday it was also brought out that we had actually put in an offer for him and he was mulling his offers. So I'm happy that he chose to sign with us. I think he can provide a great impact. A lot of people will say he sucks or something. I just think that he can be a guy who spaces the floor and also, be physical. And I think that's what we need. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. I think our power forward rotation with PJ Tucker, Markieff Morris, and then our center rotation with Bam and Dedmon, that's looking pretty solid. I think our front court rotation is looking pretty solid, and I'm pretty happy with that. Now, obviously, with signing Markieff Morris, we still have space for approximately 4 more players and then 2 two-way players. So expect Udonis Haslem, if he comes back, to be one of the 4 guaranteed roster spots. And then now we have 3 more, and that's where the Summer League comes in, because you have a chance to make the guaranteed roster if you make an impact. And we're going to talk about one guy who showed out. Omer Yurtseven, shout out to you, man. Omer Yurtseven, fun fact about my channel, my video about Omer Yurtseven is the one that has the most views. So Heat fans love this guy. He's a guy that, we've talked about. We haven't really seen him in action really in a Heat uniform, and the Summer League was really the first time we've seen him play a full game. And he showed out. He really did show out, and I was so happy for him. Shout out to him. Obviously, we took the W. I was really impressed by Omer Yurtseven. I'm not gonna lie. I was super impressed by Omer Yurtseven. I think he was a diamond in the rough, and I think the Heat scouting department, again, like for the 1,000th time, deserves a shout out, because they just got this guy from the middle of nowhere. Obviously, OKC had him in the G League, and then they got him. But Omer Yurtseven, man, what a game! 27 and 19. He did have 8 turnovers, but who cares? He was going for the triple double, whatever. But 27 and 19 is absolutely ridiculous. 7 turnovers, not 8. So yeah, I love what he did. Obviously on offense, he's a very skilled player. He has nice touch, 3 threes, around the rim. He has a nice face-up game. He can definitely, play back to the basket. He looked really big and, fluid on offense. His offensive game is very skillful. Defensively, he's not the best. I even saw that his foot speed was, not the best whatsoever. He's getting blown by sometimes, and he's not the best rim protector. Sometimes can get beaten too on the glass, but other than that, I think we have something there. And I think if he can get a little bit stronger and improve his defense, and if we were able to bring him back, I think we have a player there that we can build for the future. And Omer Yurtseven, I think, is a diamond in the rough that we just found. And I know we just traded Precious away, but Omer Yurtseven, the Heat front office might have thought, we have this guy coming up right now. If we were able to get him on the roster and develop him right, we found a replacement for a young up and coming center. We traded away Precious, but right here we have a guy who looks really good, and that's Omer Yurtseven. So interesting that the Heat declined his team option. They were probably trying to make him earn a contract, and I think he's earned it, man. I think I'd be very surprised if he doesn't return back to the Heat. And I would expect it to be a guaranteed deal. I would really expect it to be a guaranteed deal, just because I don't think we have the money to sign 4 guys. Obviously, we still have the biannual exception and a couple of more minimum deals, but I think, will probably get a guaranteed deal along with UD, which probably leaves 2 more free agents, one of which might be Victor Oladipo. It's very quiet around him. I don't know what's going on with Victor Oladipo. We'll have to see what happens with him, but it was very surprising that no one has really put an offer in for him or try to sign him, or maybe they have. Maybe he just hasn't accepted anything, but it's surprising that the Heat or nobody has really snatched up Oladipo yet. We'll have to see what happens with him. There was even some rumors that he might go unsigned because of his injury, but Oladipo hopefully gets back on the roster. I would love him back here. And I heard some rumors about Danny Green, JJ Redick, people like that. We'll see what happens with that last spot. I still want it to be a guy who can score the ball. Lou Williams is out there. I would love Lou on this team, but then again, putting Lou Will in Miami, Lemon Pepper Lou, I don't know, with all these strip clubs and all these things in Miami, Lou Will in Miami isn't the perfect match as far as off the court, but on the court, I think he'd fit our team really nicely. Just a bucket getter, man. Obviously Malik Monk was a name I wanted, but he went to the Lakers on a minimum, like almost the whole league did. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as to who the last 2 people are, but I do want one of them to be a bucket getter that we can rely on, preferably at the point guard position to back up Kyle Lowry, or the Heat might just say, let that be Gabe Vincent. We'll see what happens. Or the Heat actually, what the Heat might do, hear me out. I'm not saying they should do this. They might try to play hero at point guard. They might. We'll see how it plays out. But I still think the Heat need to sign a bucket getter. And Oladipo doesn't classify as that because he's injured. So we need a guy who can come in straight away off the bench and, provide us some instant offense. I think our defense is solid. I'm not worried about our defense whatsoever. We have dogs. We have physicality. We have toughness, grit. All the synonyms with those, adjectives. We have everything in that sense. And I think that, teams won't really want to play us because we're just so feisty. And we're probably going to be averaging the most technicals in the league, most ejections, most fights, most fouls committed. Like that's gonna be crazy. So yeah, I mean, I like where we're going. I like how this roster is developing. Obviously, some other teams made some moves, like the Bulls. Shout out to the Bulls for getting DeMar. Obviously, I wanted DeMar to come here. Yeah, it would have been great for him to come here. But I think the Bulls, are building something too. DeMar, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, Alex Caruso, Patrick Williams, the rookie. They're building something nice there, and I think what they have going on is very intriguing. So the Eastern Conference is getting a little bit more competitive day by day. How I would rank the teams right now, I would probably have the Nets and the Bucks in tier 1, and then in tier 2 I'd probably have the Heat. Tier 3 I'd probably have the Sixers, the Hawks, and the Bulls, and probably the Celtics. But we'll have to see about the Celtics. They haven't really done much in this offseason at all. They lost Evan Fournier, so we'll see what the Celtics do. But they're like a question mark for me. But how I think we stack up, I think we're probably the third best team in the conference. People will say, what about the Sixers and the Hawks or whatever? Like, the Hawks went to the conference finals. I know they did. Shout out to the Hawks. Congratulations. They went to the conference finals, but I still think we're a better team head up. I really, really do. Sixers, it's just a lot of question marks with their team surrounding Ben Simmons. So I think after the first two teams, the 76, the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks, I think we are right below them. And I think if we get another guy who can come in and score the ball off the bench, I think we could give those teams some run. We could push them. I'm not saying we'd beat any of those teams, but I'd be a lot more confident than I was last year. And I was pretty confident last year that we could stay and contain the Milwaukee Bucks, but obviously we saw how that turned out. But yeah, that's the status of other teams. We'll see how free agency plays out, like the rest of free agency plays out. Some other guys I wanted to talk about, though, for the Summer League game. I want to talk about the Summer League game more. I talked about Omer Yurtseven, but I was really impressed by Marcus Garrett. Marcus Garrett was a name that I talked about a lot on this channel over the past couple of weeks, and I've been raving about his defense, and he was one of the 5 guys that I thought that he should sign. He was the only guy that they got, but, I look like a genius now, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm so happy that I included him, because he was like a last-minute guy. I was like, should I include him or not? And I included him, and he's turning out to be a really solid player. He had I'm pretty sure he had 4 steals or 6 steals. That's crazy. 6 steals. No, he really, really fits the team to a T, man. It's not even that he just gets steals. It's like he's always in the right place at the right time. And that's an amazing trait to have as a young player. Like, his IQ is really, really good for his age. He's a very, very good defensive player. He can finish at the rim. He's fast for his size. He's big. He has a really, long wingspan. The only question mark about his game is his shooting, but I think you can always improve your perimeter shooting. But I think he should be one of the two-way players for sure. And then the second two-way player is a toss-up. I would love Javonte Smart, but I would not be mad if it was DJ Stewart. I would not be mad if it was Micah Potter. I think between those 3, it's very close right now. Javonte Smart, I think, had some good chemistry with Omer Yurtseven. DJ Stewart, if you're looking for straight scoring offense, I would go for him. Micah Potter, the big guy from Wisconsin. If you're looking for another big guy who can stretch the floor, and be versatile on offense, I would go for him. So depending on what the Heat want for the second two-way spot, it would either be between those 3 players. But for the first two-way spot, I would definitely go with Marcus Garrett, because I think that he's the real deal on the defensive end, and I think that he can be a guy who, he just fits. He just fits like a glove. He's a very, very sound defender, and that's what you need. So I like him. I really, really like him. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as far as who gets converted to two-way deals and stuff like that. We still have to fill out the roster. Markieff Morris. I like the signing. I like the pickup. Who will start between him and PJ Tucker? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens between him and PJ Tucker. I would probably assume that Morris starts, and this is my gut feeling, just because PJ Tucker's older. But we'll see what happens as far as who starts and stuff like that. But I think that's going to be it for me. I think that's where we wrap up the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll leave a like. As always, subscribe and comment down below. And hit up the Twitter if you guys have Twitter. I'll see y'all later as always, man. Peace.